There's some big college football games this weekend, Carver High, and even Thursday night, that Syracuse Pitt game is going to be pretty good tomorrow night in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I know you're going to talk about that one tomorrow. That's at the place the Steelers play tomorrow night, where Syracuse, who's 5-1, is going to come in for Pitt, who is 6-0. Eli Holstein, first Pitt quarterback to win his first 6 starts since Dan Marino. That is some impressive company. And they're laying 6 in that game. That might be a little too much. They might win, but that's a lot of points.
Yeah, I think that's scary. McLeod's a good quarterback. Syracuse is a decent team. I think they might be able to cover that wood.
Let me give you some more big ones for Saturday here. Navy, of course, undefeated. Navy and Army both still undefeated, the service academies. They will be playing Notre Dame. Now, this game at MetLife in Jersey in the Swamp, I've got Notre Dame now up to 13. They were 12.5 this morning. 51.5 is the total here. Look, it's very rare that Navy or Army beats Notre Dame, and I expect them to be able to take care of business. They'll probably screw around in this game a little bit like they did for a half with Georgia Tech last week, but I think they will get the job done.
I mean, I think Notre Dame F's around with them, and I can see Navy covering. Navy's good. They're undefeated. They mean business. This is their Super Bowl, playing Notre Dame at MetLife in East Rutherford. You got to be kidding me. I think it could be a great game.
Look, it would not stun me if Navy covers this game. Knowing how the Irish operate, I do think they'll win, though. I don't think they'll lose to Navy. But yes, they absolutely could mess around with them a little too much. Number 1, Oregon at home, Saturday, 3:30 East, for number 20, Illinois, who's now 6-1 after beating Michigan last week. And not much respect here. They're still getting 21.5 is what Oregon's laying right now with a 54.5 total.
Yeah, I mean, this is a very scary bet, but, I think it's worth taking a shot with the 21 and a hook with Illinois. I love their quarterback. I like their team. I think Bielema's done a great job with them. They mean business. They kicked Michigan's ass. They've been hard to play for everybody. I think it's going to be a better football game than 21 and a hook.
You like some more big spreads for you. How about at Hard Rock on Saturday night, where Miami will have the annual rivalry game with Florida State? The problem is Florida State is pathetic this year, now sitting at 1-6. I've actually got this up to 21. It's 20.5 there on the board. I see 21 in some spots, a full 3 tutties, and a 54.5 total.
Well, recently they beat Miami team 45-3 and rubbed it in their face. I think Miami's going to return serve here and rub it in their face. I think that Miami will blow them out and cover.
I agree with you. Smash job for the Hurricanes Saturday night under the lights at Hard Rock. Smash them. Absolute smash job. Missouri visiting Alabama Saturday, 3:30 East kick in Tuscaloosa. Now, Alabama, remember we said this the other day, they are now playing on the line. They have 2 losses, and 3 is probably going to put you away, especially when one of those losses is to Vanderbilt. Missouri 6-1 so far this year. Alabama minus 13.5 with a 55.5.
Well, remember the egg that Missouri laid at Kyle Field? They got whacked by A&M. I'm not going to be surprised at all if the same thing happens here at Bryant-Denny in Tuscaloosa.
Would not stun me either. Really big night game in the SEC as well. The only 2 teams that have not lost in conference play. Now, LSU and Texas A&M have a loss, Scotty, but they have not lost an SEC game yet. Texas A&M's 4-0, LSU's 3-0, so the winner will have sole possession of first in the conference. It's at Kyle Field. Texas A&M minus 2.5, 53.5 the total.
I just think that is an atmosphere they can take advantage of. I think it's good for 3 to 4 points at least. I like A&M at Kyle Field and the 12th man Saturday night.
All right, I got more for you. I'm not done. I got racks, too, on a Wednesday. We've got big games and we've got racks. Here we go. Nebraska visiting Ohio State. Nebraska got throttled in Bloomington last week. Now they're catching 25.5 at the shoe. Indiana not going to have Rourke, still laying 6.5 against Washington. Ole Miss laying almost 3 tutties at home against Oklahoma. How about UCF, 1.5 point favorite over undefeated BYU in Orlando? Texas laying on the road at Vandy.
Well, I think Ohio State's going to do the same thing to Nebraska that Indiana did to them. They're going to kill them. I think Indiana will cover and beat Washington because the rest of that football team is really good. I know they lost Rourke, but we'll see if this guy Jackson can get it done. Ole Miss will beat Oklahoma and cover. There's no way I'm betting on Central Florida. They have stunk, and BYU's undefeated. They're going to go there to Orlando, and they're going to beat them. That'll be that. And then Texas, Vanderbilt. I like Texas, but I like Vanderbilt to cover the number.
Penn State takes the trip to Madtown to see Wisconsin this week. The Badgers, of course, have been playing a lot better the last couple of weeks. Penn State, the road favorite. Michigan State, -3.5 at the Big House. Kansas State laying 9.5 in their rivalry game against the Jayhawks. SMU, 11.5-point favorites in Durham against Duke, who's been pretty good this year. And Colorado and Dion, 5.5-point favorites over Cincinnati. You know, the Bearcats have been playing some pretty decent football as well in the Big 12.
I think they'll lose at Boulder, and I think the Buffs will cover. I think Duke will cover the number in Durham against SMU. Kansas State will punk Kansas in Manhattan. Michigan will beat Michigan State. They stink. Michigan's bad, but they don't stink. And I think Wisconsin covers the number in Camp Randall and upsets Penn State outright. The big win for Fickle and the Badgers. It's really their biggest game.
It is their biggest game. This would be huge for Fickle if he could ever get this done at home against Franklin and the Nittany Lions.